Freedom is such a powerful tool, and like Peter Parker's uncle said, with great power comes great responsibility. Social media is that powerful tool, and whatever we put out there, we have to put it out with responsibility and very carefully. And on the eve of our 74th independence, we salute everybody that has worked so hard for our independence, for our freedom. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Paradigm Shift. Today, we are going to be in conversation with Minal Saraswat. She is an architect. She is an entrepreneur. She is a special educator. And she is right here. Let me put her in. Hi, good evening, Minal. How are you?
Good evening. I'm fine, Deepshika. How are you?
Okay, so you're going to call me Deepshika.
Okay, at least initially till I get into the flow of talking, then after that, well, we can't say. Not really.
Okay, so
Yeah.
try healers are here. Hi. So I don't know which one of you are here. Kavita, Richa, Maya. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Tri Healers. Hi,
Atul,
Shine.
Deepa, Raizada here. Hi, Shaheen. Oh, that's so nice. Okay, so
So nice.
Meenal, let's get Meenal. Should we get right into this?
Sure, sure, absolutely. Actually, this has been a long time coming. You've been asking me to do it since last year, and oh, finally, finally.
Finally, we had
Yes,
you. That is so cool.
yes,
That is so cool.
yes.
Hello, hello, hello. Try healer say. Okay, so give us a little backstory about your childhood, early days. Like everything.
Okay. I think most of the people who've joined at least know, but I'm an only child, and I come from a very lovely set of parents. Mom was quite a disciplinarian, but a very nice and very disciplined upbringing I had. Uh, what can I say about my childhood? It was a typical lovely childhood where my parents, or rather my mom, more than anything else, was always focused on me doing things which were more academically oriented, because she always believed that baki sab aa jata hai, all that stuff
Yeah,
comes, but you
right.
need to be very, very academic. You need to have a career. She was very clear about that since I was young. Of course, she wanted to make me a doctor, but well, things worked out in a different manner. So it was nice. It was a
Yeah,
very
everybody at that time had to be a doctor and an engineer. So you must tell us
engineer.
that
Yeah,
story.
I guess we really had no other choices. Unlike
Yeah,
kids who have a lot of choices today, which I think that's really, really good. The kind of fields that are there, we couldn't even begin to imagine during our time. I mean, IT was absolutely
absolutely.
not done, honestly speaking, and especially not for a
Right.
person who was not very much into maths, like me.
Right.
I was a lot
Right.
into art and creativity and stuff like that. I guess that's what attracted me probably to my first, I call it the first profession that I had. I mean, architecture. I
Yeah.
think that's what it was. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
there is so much maths in architecture. So tell us that story. Like, how did you get into
Uh,
architecture?
Honestly, well, my mother thought that she was doing me a big favor. She used to keep taking me to this person. She was a doctor, and she was supposed to help me get into medical school. And it just so happened that her kids were, both of them were architects. And I used to keep going to their house and keep seeing those kids work and, look at their drawings. And, their friends used to come over and they're sitting and doing projects together. They're staying up the nights. And, something about all that interested me a lot more as I kept seeing it. As it
Hmm.
kept going along, it was a lot more interesting than medical. And then, I had another, I had someone else who was studying medicine. And trust me, when I saw that book, Grey's Anatomy, I almost died. Do you guys all know? It's like that thick. Okay, it's actually
Right.
a big gray book, and it's that thick. And
Right.
I was told that that's what I would have to learn, and this is one of those books. It's
And
just anatomy.
so many of
And then
those books.
so many, I said, there is no way I can do this. I mean, no way, So, I mean, I was a good student, but, I had my challenges. And more importantly, I think there was an attraction towards architecture. Whatever I saw, I actually loved the idea of that profession. So, and then I of course, quietly, so now for architecture, I don't know if you know, but you need PCM. Obviously, for medical, you need PCB. So I just decided to do PCBM, which was little unheard of during our time because everybody used to either focus on PCB or PCM. I landed up taking, I
Everything.
landed up taking everything. I said, well, whatever, let's just see. PCB
Right.
was a little bit higher, but then we didn't apply to medical at all. We just left the
Thought.
form somewhere. No, we left the form somewhere.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
sure your mother is listening in, and I'm sure she's now going to come after you.
oh yeah, I don't think she has joined yet.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, but yeah. Oh yeah, she can see the recording. Okay. Anyways, we shall be nice.
Okay. Okay. So, tell me, Meenal, from an architect, from a successful architect, and worked on so many successful projects and prestigious projects, you became a special educator. What is this? How did this journey take place?
Okay. So when I was okay. I have had very difficult pregnancies. Let me just put it that way. In short terms, I had very, very difficult pregnancies. So as a joke, I tell everyone I really know that I had 6 pregnancies and only 2 kids to show for it. So I practically had to give up my work because when I was pregnant with my first kids, I had twins, and
Mm-hmm.
at that point in time, I lost my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and my son barely survived. I mean, he's 18 now, but at that point in time, it was touch and go for a really long time, and he was in the
Right.
hospital for 2 months.
Okay.
Uh, so it was what I'm trying to say is that it was a very tough time for us as a family. It was a very tough
Okay.
time for me because
Okay.
I had always heard that uh, people work till the last minute, literally, and I
Yes.
know a lot of people who had done that. I'd seen
Right.
them, and to realize and to realign your mind to the fact that, listen, you'll have to take a choice. Okay,
Yes.
you'll have to shift your priorities. I guess it's very funny that your company is called Paradigm Shift, because I've had a couple of paradigm shifts. This was one of them. My first shift was to realize I would have to choose family or career. It was
Right.
a really tough choice, believe me, because for a person like me, I'm extremely independent. I worked all through architecture college
Hmm.
because we were from a middle class family, and mom and dad did the best they could, but I had a lot of expensive equipment to buy, and stuff like that, and the paper itself was very expensive, and
Even the
you know
pencil.
it's not the pencil, it's the rotring. We had a special pen. Each of those pens at that point in time, when a normal pen used to cost what, 2 rupees or 3 rupees, ours cost 250. There's only that much.
Oh.
Yeah. It's not an easy profession to have. Of course, now with AutoCAD, I mean, now you need a computer. Well, there are
Yeah.
different challenges. But,
Yeah.
coming from there, so I worked all through 5 years of my architecture. I worked
Right.
after that. So for me, after 12 or 13 years, to kind of decide to give up was really
Right.
tough.
Right.
And then there was a lot of mental trauma because I lost my daughter. And for me, it was quite devastating. I just have to put it out there. It is really bad.
Yeah. Hmm.
And then of course, eventually when I was pregnant with Nush, again, there were a lot of complications and a lot of health issues started cropping up. So it kind of, let me put it this way, in those 3-4 years, 3 years, it just sealed my fate. And I decided, you know what? My family is going to be my priority. My health is going to be my priority. And that's what I did. And that's what I did. But as the kids kept growing up, I had my son who had delayed milestones.
Okay.
Very delayed, because he's a preemie. So there were a lot of delayed milestones. And
Hmm.
on the other hand, when my daughter started coming around, started growing, right? She had advanced milestones. It
Mm-hmm.
was amazing. The things which the kids would do at 3 months, she would be doing at two, and stuff like
Okay.
that. So
Okay.
in terms of physical aspects,
Okay.
and then we come to an age where both the kids are supposed to be reading, or rather, let me put it this way: my son had started reading, but Anushka would not. My daughter would not read. She would
Okay.
look at pictures. She would turn the book upside down. These are very typical signs. See how the universe realigns itself. And I started meeting people who had issues, saw a couple of movies, and
Hmm.
I had my absolute rock Shaheen, who came up to me one day and said, you know what? There's this course from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, TISS is having a course, and you want to do it with me? Why don't we do it together? And I said,
Wow.
it's a weekend course, and I'm working. See, I'm getting goosebumps even talking about it again. And
Wow.
I just said, it just clicked. It was a moment's decision. I didn't even ask anyone. I just turned around and told my parents, I said, you guys really need to help me through this, because I really want to do this course. So
Absolutely.
it's a diploma course, and whatever, it's on the weekends, and I really need your help, because the kids were younger at that point
Younger.
in time. Yeah, and slowly, of course, I did that course with her. We had great fun. It was a lot of learning,
Yes.
and then I realized, just before this, I had realized that Anushka, actually, my daughter, was dyslexic.
Okay.
Took her to a counselor, and the entire thing had been checked, and her tests had been done and stuff. So I
Mm-hmm.
knew that there was an issue, and coming from there, when I thought I could help her, I was thrilled to bits. Believe me, that's actually how the shift took
Beautiful.
place. But when I came out of this and I started, looking at other children, the thought that went through my head for the longest time was, why do we call these kids having a disability? They have a diff ability. They have a different ability. They just have a different way of learning. That's it.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
actually your problem as a school. It's your
Right.
problem as educators and parents if you cannot teach them. It's
Right.
not their problem. It's
Right.
not even a problem. I don't even want to use that word actually. They're just different kids, you know.
Different abilities.
It's a,
Absolutely.
exactly different abilities. It's not disabilities. So I
Yes.
go by that mantra very, very, it's very clear in my head. And then I
Yeah.
started teaching so-called normal kids, and they started understanding subjects much, much better.
Right.
Believe me, it's visual, it's kinesthetic. There are a lot of ways to teach children, but unfortunately in schools, वही अपना चला आ रहा है किताब खोलो,
Correct.
एक वीडियो देख लो, ऐसे कर लो,
Correct.
and the teacher thinks that the job is done.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
There's this beautiful story that goes now that there are animals lined up and they said anybody who can climb that tree will win, and so obviously only the monkey will win, or a bear would win. Everybody else would have been, the fish could
hmm,
never think of that, that kind of thing.
exactly,
So our
exactly.
educational system is like that. Yeah.
Yes. That's it's sad, but well, I
Okay.
guess we have to make the
So
best of it. Yeah.
right. So,
Correct.
Minal, tell us who all can do this course? Like all the young people that are watching who would want to take up this as a career, who
Yeah.
all from what all fields can take up this course?
Okay, this course is available, the TISS courses are available for anyone who
Okay.
has an interest. Okay, anyone. So there is no particular educational requirement really. Okay,
Hmm.
you do have to be a graduate. You can't do
Right.
this just out of 10th or 12th. That is the
Okay.
case. But
Okay.
most importantly, what is important for me to convey to the viewers and to anybody who would be interested is that it's not the educational qualification. Believe me, I think all the things that I've done in my life, we have to love them more than anything else. See, these are not Shiku, these are not courses, or these are not career choices you make. Architecture and special ed put together, they are not choices you make if you want to earn money and you want to be a millionaire. Okay, they are choices you make because you love the profession.
Okay.
For special education, you need a lot of patience. You need a lot
Right.
of uh, grounding yourself. You need a lot of understanding. You,
Right.
because there are times we are faced with the challenges of talking to parents uh, who do not want to admit that their child, I would not say problem, but I don't know what other word to use. You know what I mean?
A different
That
ability.
their
We need to stick
child
with
has,
that. Yeah.
yeah, the child has got an issue, and we need to, as adults and parents and educators and counselors, we need to address it. You understand?
Right.
People don't get that. They just don't get it.
Right. Right.
So that is actually, and the frustration and the uh, uh, the sadness sometimes. It's, I mean, for, if you're very sensitive, if you get disheartened, or if you have a very big ego, they are not listening to me, have this big ego. It can really, you know what I mean? The profession then does not take the right path. You are
Correct.
here as a helper. You're here as a
Right.
tool. And if you
Right.
cannot be that for the next person, then it's
Yeah.
really sad. Then it's really sad. So that is something, that mindset has to be with anybody who wants to get into this profession. I think that's for me, that's above education.
Right.
That's
Right.
yeah, definitely,
Lot of
definitely.
compassion, lot of patience. Correct.
Lot of compassion, yes. And along with compassion, you really need to be able to put your ego aside, because when you're talking to
Yeah.
parents, see, it
Yeah.
hurts. Sometimes it hurts.
Yeah.
When they don't understand what's going on with
Hmm.
their child, it bothers them when you're trying to tell them something. So the right tools, of course, they are taught to you how to deal, and everything that is taught to you in the course.
Right.
But then
Right.
that you really need to have I would say, a natural ability. So
Correct.
anybody who feels that they would like to, it's a
They
really
can.
good.
They can.
I think
Okay.
there is a need for this.
Absolutely. We need more people
Yeah,
like that. So,
more
like
people.
we were talking about parents, the parents who don't, see this. What is your advice to younger parents? Like, what are the red flags that, younger parents should be looking at in their young children? Like, how does one get to know or that they have a different ability?
Okay, so uh, I okay. Honestly, I would divide this into various categories. To be very honest, so there would be certain things which you, as parents, I would say you need to do when your kids are younger. Like I've seen parents. So I'm now talking about parents who have infants to 2 year old, two and a
Mm-hmm.
half year.
Okay.
uh, those parents need to, there's a typical thing which I have seen, and okay, I get how difficult it is. I get that parenting is difficult, but when you do something simple, like what is coming to my mind is a simple thing, like when you're feeding them and you're letting them watch television at the same time,
Hmm.
right? So you're
Hmm.
letting them watch TV at that, or a tab, or a something, while you're stuffing them out. You know what you're
Yeah.
doing is, and I'm not talking about the level of consciousness, because at that point the child has a different conscious level, right? But
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
trying to make you understand is that you are promoting, number one, obesity in the child,
Hmm.
because the child is now not focusing on the food or their hunger. You have it's like you have a vegetable, and you're just, or a plastic bag, and you're just shoving the food inside and
Right.
hoping that the nutrition takes effect. You understand? It's
Oh my
really
God.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad, but they, and I get it. Yeah, it's really tough. The kid has been crying. He wants food, or he wants a bottle. Just give him the mobile, and he'll keep quiet for 10 minutes.
iPad.
I'm sure we've
Yeah.
all done that, but uh, there has to be a limit to that. That cannot
Right.
be the go-to all the time.
Right.
And that's basically what is the most important thing. That's for younger kids.
Mm.
Also, as they become 2 and 3, when you're now starting to wean them off your milk and those soft foods, it's not a good idea. Now I'm talking from 2 to say 5, 6, 7. When you're trying to form food habits, and I will
Right.
explain a little bit later why I'm talking
Mm.
about food so much, why
Right.
nutrition is important. Because so what you need to be careful about is junk food.
Yeah.
Simple, packaged food as little as possible. This is something very important taught to us
Mm.
during special ed, that most
Right.
parents don't realize, most people forget about parents, most people don't realize how devastating it is. And
Right.
especially for a child's uh, metabolism.
Okay.
There are
Okay.
some, that is why there are so many lifestyle diseases like diabetes, which have been on the rise in children. Childhood obesity, diabetes, ADHD, they are all related to diet. I mean, a lot of it is related to a diet.
That
So
also.
a
Okay.
healthy diet will
Mm.
definitely help in, so for example, if there is, you're finding that a child is very hyper, you would not want to give them packaged foods, sweet foods, focus on chocolates, stuff like that, so I mean,
Sodas, all kinds of sodas.
for sodas are an absolute no for lots of different reasons because of the kind of chemicals put in them. If you
Okay.
read the labels, so ever since I got into nutrition and all, I have a very bad habit of reading labels all the time. I mean, I'm
Turn it
constantly
around.
at a store and I'm turning the thing around and reading the label first, and I actually had my kids turn around and tell me, Mom, why are you looking at the price here? Let me read it. I said, no, I'm reading the label. You guys don't get it. I'm trying to see how many of those, INS, you'll find them written INS. Those are
Mm.
standard colors and
Okay.
preservatives and all that you can use. But
Okay.
yes, it's okay for them to be used. But does that
Right.
really mean that you need to give that to your 5-year-old and 6-year-old on an
Correct.
everyday basis?
Right.
All these things that I'm talking about are on an everyday basis. I'm not saying don't do once in a while. Oh, I love a good packet of chips and a soda myself, and once
But
in a
not
while,
like
even
all
like,
3 meals. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like all 3 meals or once a day. Once a day is also really bad. It's not good.
I
So
remember you were in a counseling at one time. You had told me this episode that this child was like all of very little, and the mother gave a glucose, an
yeah,
appy, and so everything that was a fruity or whatever. So there's like
fruity,
everything
right, right.
sugar, 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 and that child
Yeah.
was like uh,
Oh,
buzzing fast in that room of your counseling room.
yes. In fact, that was that episode what I talked to you about was during the time when I was interning with the
Right.
yeah, and that was
With
one
the,
of the cases, and I was actually shocked. I didn't know what to, the kid was, because I was the intern. So I was actually taking care of the kid while the senior, and I was watching her dealing with
right.
the parents. And she
Right.
was, okay, now the problem was that she was finding it really tough to communicate to them that please, you need to understand that this is not good for your child. And they were trying to justify, and see, from their perspective also, I could get it. And you then realize that it's such an uphill task to convince parents, because they were like, we are both working, we literally are playing handoff about the child.
Right.
The child
Right.
gets handed off to the mother, she comes back, she takes him, so she's like, "No, no, no, have you fed him?" And then she says no, he says no, so she's just on the way back home while coming in, and she's telling the counselor that while I'm walking back home, there's a small shop near our house. I just buy a fruity, I buy a glucose packet, small 5 rupee Maggie that I'll make for her when we go home. But on the
Oh,
way, and it's so sad, to see that she's tired. She was a practicing nurse or something. She was in the
okay.
healthcare industry herself,
Right,
and
right.
you feel bad because she's saying, we don't know what to do.
Yeah,
We really
yeah,
don't know what to do.
yeah.
How do
So
you, how do we,
Swati says diet can include a much wider field apart from just food. Example, what we watch, what we follow, what we
yes,
interact, what we breathe. Yeah, that is exactly what Meenal was
yes,
saying.
that's it.
And
Yes,
as the food, so the mind, so the
exactly.
man. That is what the tri healer said. So yeah, so
Yes.
you're saying that the screen time will obviously I mean, you will not be able to. You were saying something about the screen time. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, now when I'm going higher up, when I'm going now to kids who are from, say, the age of 7, 8, and I'm talking now about teenage years. Now you need to be careful about screen times. You need to be careful about what they are watching.
Hmm.
Uh, and more importantly, look out for behavioral issues. Okay,
Okay.
because now, especially around the teen years, is when the children start changing.
Okay.
You would find that a child has never been, there are certain, you'll notice drastic changes. I mean,
Hmm.
I've had counselings where I've had to counsel certain teens, and they've had a drastic shift in their personality.
Right.
Those are the signs. See, these are all these red flags. So what I'm trying to say is that when as the age keeps going by, there are different flags to watch out for.
Okay.
Most
Okay.
importantly is not only awareness, it's also being able to read the signs and to be able to then be honest with yourself and to be honest and seek help. Shifu, I cannot tell you the times where people have noticed that their child is supposedly very hyper, but they say, he's young, yeah, his father was also like that, and nahi, my son is not like that, or my daughter is not, nahi,
In
yaar, it's
denial.
okay. That kind. In fact, there is another thing comes to my mind. Yeah, how did I forget that? One of my I would call it my pet peeve, and I think it's very important for parents to understand this, that you cannot talk about your child while your child is sitting there in third person and think that you're doing them a very big favor. Array, this one, he talks like an adult to my husband. You know how he talks? He's saying, hey, I call my husband by his name. And you know what he does? He also calls him by his name. What do you think you're doing there? What do you think you're encouraging there? See, it's very important for us as parents to realize what we say in front of them.
Yeah.
That is what they are going to learn. So you
Right.
are actually putting in a video where the child is shouting at someone else. He's shouting and screaming and firing them. Like I've seen a couple of these videos. There
The
is a small
reels and
little kid,
TikToks. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and shouting and saying, "Oh, you'll do this," and no, and shouting, and they put it up, and there are
Yeah.
million views. So it's those kind of
Million
things.
views.
So
I mean,
I'm
those
telling you,
million views.
you know,
Really, like who watches these? How
I
do you
really
get million?
I have watched it, to be very honest, and got really angry. But
Yes.
of course, it's not in my place to tell them. But people, the point of the matter is, people don't understand they're doing something wrong. They just think it's
Right.
good fun. It may be
Right.
good fun to keep as a
Yeah.
memory. I agree.
Hmm.
You can keep it as a memory video and show it back to the child later and say, "See, this is what you used to do when you were so young." But to encourage this and put this online, it's a bad precedent. It's a bad thing. It's a bad example to set. And tell your child, because your children are watching. It's more important.
Right.
And as
Right.
we say, lead by example. These are these stupid cliches, but you do realize them. You have to
Yeah.
lead by example.
Right.
So
Right.
these are
Right.
the things. And as the kids grow older, please watch out for their behavior. Watch out for their shift in behavior. I think that's very important. Like
Right.
some people don't consider it another incident. I'm just giving these incidences because it'll help people
Yes. Yes.
realize if they have this kind of a problem. There are a lot of
Absolutely.
parents who don't mind if their children pick up stuff. It was lying. So maybe, a person like my son would forget his pencil box every day in school.
Hmm. Hmm.
Very capable of doing that, and he has done that a couple of times. I don't know how many water bottles I've lost, but the fact of the matter is someone else picking it up, taking it home.
Mm-hmm.
You understand those kind of
Yeah.
behaviors, because when they are done in as a child and you ignore them, they usually
Hmm.
lead to bigger problems when they are older. It becomes a
Okay.
habit. Yeah.
Okay.
It becomes habit for children to pick up stuff because they know there is
Okay.
no consequence to it, or rather, they feel that there is no consequence to it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, because
Right.
they've come back home. obviously the mother has seen it or the father has seen it or whoever has seen it, and they said,
Okay.
whose is this? Where did you get? Oh, it was lying in school. I picked it up. Put it for a wash. Or put it, or let it go. Or better still, if it's a pen or a pencil, sometimes kids don't even take it out of the bag, and if
Right.
you're one of those nice parents who doesn't want to check their child's bag because that's not a done thing, I think once in a while it's really okay. If it
Right.
means that you will learn something else about your children, I think it's perfectly fine to do it. It's
Absolutely.
not
Yes.
breaking their trust. You can, in fact, even tell them that I'd like to check your bag and show it to me right now. You'll sit here. I just want to see. It's not a
Right.
bad thing. I. This is my personal belief, and
Yes. Absolutely.
But
Yes,
that helps
absolutely.
you
Because you have to be there. You have to be there to guide your children because they're too
exactly.
little to understand the anonymity of this problem.
Exactly. And if you are not going to do that, who else is? Another
Right.
thing you could
Right.
do when you give them the phones, it's I would think that it's a very good idea for people to uh, check their children's phones and let them know. My son had a phone, I think pretty early, son and daughter both. Uh, when they were, yeah, 8, 10, 11, they both had phones. And
Hmm.
a lot of people told me, that I think they're too young to have phones. I said, number one, I control the time that I give it to them. That's the first thing.
Hmm.
Secondly, for the longest time, my daughter didn't even know where her phone was. 80% of the times it used to be off. We did,
Okay.
I did. It was literally that way and that was a good thing. That there was
Right.
no fight about the phone that you've given it to Bhaiya and not given it to me. But with my son, I did it also because he was very interested. He wanted one, but he had been told very, very clearly, Shiku, that I'm going to be checking your phone. Your phone's going to be
Yeah.
monitored. And
Yeah.
when he asked, I also had an answer for that because I did tell him, I said, look, I'm giving you this as a tool. I'm the one
Yeah.
who's going to teach you how to use it
Yeah.
till you're 18. Till you're 18, I
Absolutely.
can check your phone at any time. Why? Because
Right.
I'm the one who's going to help you and guide you through this entire process. This is another instrument you have to learn because it's an important part of your future. You understand?
Right.
See, for us, it
Yes.
was not important. The times have changed and we need to
Absolutely.
change along with our children. And that's a very important thing for us to understand. And he knew it. He knew. And if I caught anything on his phone, and I used to sit him down and tell him, why are you talking? There was a time when he was saying something really bad to someone on a chat. And I said, why are you
Hmm.
doing this? Oh, he made me really angry. And he said this and he said that. Mom, didn't you read what he said? I said, that's not my job. My job is
Right.
to educate you. And why would you do that? Why would you put that out there?
Right.
You're angry, have a verbal fight with him face to face. Don't do this. Don't put things in written. People
Right.
will take
Right.
screenshots of it. People will take screenshots of it. People will misuse it, take it out of context. How do you know? And
Absolutely.
slowly, yeah, slowly, he started realizing these things. Taking weird photos. These are changes. These are things you have to monitor as a parent. And
Absolutely. It's a very
please don't.
scary time.
Exactly. And then we should not, more importantly, we should not be scared after that to ask for help. That
Yeah.
is another big thing that parents should not feel they have failed or they've done something wrong or the child has done something wrong or the nanny who was taking care of them has done something wrong. Nobody's done anything wrong. We just need to
Correct.
address. The children it changes, yeah. Times,
Absolutely.
the peer pressure, a whole lot of things. In fact, I deal a lot with these kind of teens with behavioral issues. And
Hmm.
that's why I know, the children themselves feel trapped at times. They're going through
Yeah.
hormonal changes. I mean, it's
Bullying and so much bullying on the
so
internet,
much.
and I'm sure, yes.
Yes. And they don't know how to handle it. If we are not going to teach them, who's going to? I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
yeah, by the time they are in their 20s, their minds are absolutely weirded out, and that's
Right.
very, very common now in this generation. I'm noticing. I think our parents and we had it a lot easier. as they say,
Absolutely.
I,
Absolutely.
I think
With
one
no
of those,
social media, no internet, absolutely. I think it was very, very good times, Like I just started this live with saying, with power comes, with great power comes great responsibility,
great
So
spots.
handing phone, handing over internet to a
Yeah,
child, you have, it's there, you have
yeah,
to be so careful today.
yes, that's true. That's true. Absolutely.
Okay. So, Meenal, tell us, what are the different conditions, or I'll say different abilities in children that are there, the conditions that you guys deal with, if you want to name a few.
Yeah, I guess I'll just have to be naming a few because there are so many, and it's actually not a cliche to say, but every child is different. Literally, every child is different. I mean, in fact, talking about dyslexia, but now that I've shared, my daughter has dyslexia. She has. There are 22 types of dyslexia itself. I mean, that's
Wow.
yeah. There are 22. There's dyscalculia. There's dysgraphia. So there are kids who are very good with math, and I've realized that my daughter is extremely. She's pretty good and she's pretty quick with math, but there is
Hmm.
a graphia issue, so there is a language issue. I am also dyslexic myself, so it's
Mm-hmm.
so it's a genetic condition. So
Okay.
whenever we counsel and check for dyslexia, we usually like to check the other siblings as well, check the family to figure out where it's come from. And
Okay.
if the
Okay.
other sibling, it happens very often that both siblings might have it you know
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
so coming from there, when Anushka's counseling had been done, after that my counseling was done. I mean, and
Okay.
I
Okay.
yeah and I have another kind of dyslexia. So I have a lot of problem with math. I have a calculia issue. She does not have a calculus, she has a graphia issue. And
Okay. Okay.
going forward to the 22 types, I mean, I don't even remember them quite honestly, but there are
Hmm.
22 different types of dyslexia. There is ADHD we deal with, ADD, ADHD, which is a condition
Okay.
of hyperactivity in children, which needs to be addressed a lot of times.
Right.
Not only
Right.
medication wise, there are a lot of therapies also which are there. There is
Right.
autism. There are
Okay.
children who are, on the autism spectrum also. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
then there are other physical, there are behavioral issues. There are a lot
Mm-hmm.
of behavioral tendencies. Then there are physical, so there are these mental issues which then land up manifesting as physical issues. I'll just give you
Okay.
one example which is coming to my mind right now is, when kids or girls are bulimic, when they make themselves throw up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a condition which is a psychological, mental condition which manifests itself as a physical this thing. That's another uh, I mean, that actually is a problem because then the children get
Right.
malnourished, so we need
Right.
to deal with
Right.
that as well. There are other
Okay.
behavioral issues, there are kleptomania, there are a lot of things which can be addressed. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
them can be addressed uh, with
Only with
psychotherapy
therapy.
and yes, just therapy, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Counseling and therapy put together. And then
Mm-hmm.
there are others which actually need, like, for example, Down syndrome and autism, they need OT, occupational therapy, as well.
Okay.
So, there are various, as I say, various things need various different kinds of therapy. Like for dyslexia, primarily only therapy and
Okay.
exercises and stuff like that. So,
All right.
that is case to case basis. I mean, as
Hmm.
in when it goes. But
Okay.
we have also got like a medical Grey's Anatomy. I've got a really nice thick book, which has,
Okay.
I think, over 1,000
Conditions.
behavioral, physical conditions. Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
that's, yeah.
So if somebody has to come to you for counseling, what is the procedure?
So see, our first session would typically be about an hour and a half or so,
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
even longer, because I'd like people to come with their history. I mean, history, obviously, their history, the child's history. Now, the history that I'm talking about is, all the stuff that I spoke about, their
Hmm.
behavioral, diet, and medical history, all their pediatric history.
Yeah. Yeah.
just to rule out. See, these are things which we do
Right.
then because we rule out things. Mostly it's
Yeah.
ruling out
Yeah.
initially. Then we start
Correct.
assessing and figuring out what is the problem. Is there a
Right.
problem? Or is there
Right.
just a need of counseling? You know?
Okay.
So
Okay.
after the first session, I will take a couple of days, usually, typically, I will take a
Hmm.
couple of days because I will need to maybe even consult other counselors and try and figure out is there really an issue with this child? Should we be doing
Yeah.
counseling? Should we be doing OT? Some kids come with, you look at them, you talk to them, and you know there is an issue,
Right.
but yeah, but that happens very, very rarely. So
Okay.
typically, the first session will be just a history session.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I don't like to sit down and try and start giving opinions or talking or therapizing, as I like
In
to
the
call it,
first.
in the first session. It is going to be just you tell me what you want to tell me.
Right.
I will then sit
And
and
then you guys.
assess, and then when the second meeting, see, it also uh, parents and children, mostly parents don't like to tell their children before they are totally with it. So, and that's what I
Hmm.
recommend as well. I like to
Hmm.
tell the parents. So the second session primarily would be where I would be telling them what is the plan going forward and would
Okay.
like their opinion on it. Okay,
Right.
whether they are in agreement with it, would they like to, maybe they'd like
Okay.
a second opinion, or they'd like to
Okay.
go ahead
Okay.
and look at some other options. They'd like me to
Okay.
go ahead with other options. You understand? And then the
Yeah.
therapy goes forward.
All
Typically
right.
that's the
Cool.
way it is.
Cool.
But
Okay.
the most important, during the second session, I like to let the parents know that if I'm spending an hour and a half with your child, the rest of the time, whatever is decided by the parents or the people who are taking care of the child, the entire team, whatever they decide, it may be school counselors involved, whatever it is, that is case to case basis. But once we decide that this is what we are going to do for the betterment of this child, that
Mm-hmm.
entire plan has to be followed by everyone. So there will be a
Right.
time when there will probably be every 15 days or once a month, there will be a meet, and there will be a session recorded where we would exchange ideas. Okay, this is what we tried this month with this child. This is the thing that we feel. Did you notice any difference? Is there any difference in the school? All these things. Siblings may be called. At this point in this particular meeting, the child will not be involved. But this
Okay.
meeting is to understand whether the therapy or the course of action, as we call it, action plan, is working or not.
Okay.
So
Okay.
typically that's how it goes.
These
Yeah.
are the, this is how. So that was also one of my second question, that what is your advice to the parents? So you have actually covered a lot in that, but if you would want, like anybody, a young parent, what is the advice that you would give them other than all what you just covered?
Other than,
Who has a young parent that has a special, a kid with different abilities?
please seek help as soon as possible. Please, don't
Yeah.
ignore it. It may just be alarm bells ringing in your head. It just
Mm-hmm.
may be a concern. There is no
Yeah.
harm. It's not a
Right.
bad thing to go and see a counselor, a therapist, or a special educator. If you're feeling that there is uh, it just sometimes is a very fuzzy feeling with parents, but they don't
Yes.
want to admit that their children have a problem. It's not a
Hmm.
problem, guys. You are actually the problem,
Yeah.
so please step out of it's so difficult, I'm telling you, in this structured world, to function with a different ability. It's very easy for us to
Hmm.
say, but it's very, very difficult for these kids to function. I know because I am one of them. I am
Right.
aware of my challenges. My challenges
Hmm.
are tremendous. Just to explain it to you,
Hmm.
because I was older and
Hmm.
I'm an adult.
Hmm.
The typical test which is done for kids of dyslexia cannot be done on me. So when I
Oh.
had a test, Yeah. What can you ask me? I know a whole lot of things by now. I'm an adult. I will know a little bit of geography and English and math and everything. I mean,
Correct,
those
correct, correct,
things basic are covered,
correct.
right? So there are no tests
Yeah,
for adults. How do we assess
right.
adults? They are given situations. So I was
Okay.
given a situation where I was asked that I would, while driving, okay, what are my pet peeves? What bothers me a lot? So I said I cannot drive and talk together. I just cannot. And as I'm growing older, the challenge is becoming greater. I need to do that in silence and I need to do that single task. You
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Okay.
Okay, another extremely big challenge, of course, if I was super rich, I would have done that. Uh, if you give me a game like Asphalt 8 to play,
I don't know
uh,
that game.
or Subway Surfers, any of those moving games where everybody is moving,
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
okay, okay, I will, if I was rich enough, I would have broken the tab. And it takes me about 2 minutes to get irritated. I cannot play. So it's a motion thing. It's something, it's a very weird thing. And immediately, as soon as I said it, she asked me, what are your, I said, these are two very big, irritating challenges. And I
Mm.
said that about the games because I had taken my son along with me for that session. And I was sitting out with him while he was playing.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
And the typical game of snakes, because that time he was young, so he had that other
Yes.
phone. That
Yeah.
snakes goes left, right, Pac-Man, snakes. I will throw the instrument away. It just bothers me. So when she asked, I told her this. Then she asked me another question. She's saying, can you multitask? She's saying, just think about it for 2 minutes. And I realized I can't multitask. It's a
Okay.
very, very big thing. So parents, seriously, you're not doing, just put yourself out of the picture. And if you just feel your child, there is something a little bit different about my child, other than, you may be looking at someone else and saying, this one looks normal. My child, why is he behaving like that? Seek help. That's the only thing I'll tell you. Put yourself out of the picture. There is no shame in asking for help. Seek help. That's
Right.
all. That's all I would
Right.
like to say.
Amazing. That is very good advice because like we discussed, therapy is not
Yeah.
a bad word. So like go
It's
out
not a
there and
bad
seek
word.
help. Ask. Okay. So let's talk about your third child now. Okay. So if it is two children and two this, so this is the fifth child actually. So you got into soups and salads, nutritionally yours. Let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
Okay, that's my newest baby. Yes, third kid. Actually, third kid. See, I've been wanting to do this for a really, really long time. To be very honest with you, because as I have been talking myself to death here today, nutrition plays a very, very important part, and
Right.
people just okay. Let's put it this way. I'm sure if people had access to uh, healthy food, healthy, tasty salads, soups, healthy tiffin meals, healthy chicken also, not the butter
Mm.
chicken variety, at an
Mm.
affordable cost where
Right.
they can afford it and it doesn't seem like they're paying the earth for it. Why not? And during the lockdown, I think we all kind of discovered our inner artists and our inner everything. And
Yes.
so I discovered my inner, the first month was brilliant. I was making all this, the dal makhani and tandoori roti and all. Of course, tandoori roti was nice and healthy and, mixing the atas and everything, making puris and all. And then I was like, after a month, I said, this is it. I can't do this
Not
anymore. The,
happening.
it's not happening, the cleaning and the everything. And then I started thinking of one pot meals. From one pot meals it went to, as things started opening up, and after months we were seeing things like salads, leaves and broccoli
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I started then experimenting in another way, a healthier way. And
Right.
from there it led to, now what used to happen was I would make it for the family, didn't realize it'd be huge bowl, and then you were sick of eating it. You don't want to eat it the second time or the third time. Who wants to? You want a fresh,
Mm.
nice, crisp salad,
Yes,
with
absolutely.
quinoa and stuff like, you understand. And from there I suddenly realized, I said, why not? you know there Why not do this for other people? I'll be able to make a batch of 10, I'll eat keep one
Amazing.
for myself and sell the rest of the 9. Why not? And
Amazing.
I'm telling you, I have been actually, this was that idea in my head, and I was actually shocked that it kind of really took off, because honestly, there was
Amazing.
a dearth of healthy food in the market. So,
Amazing.
yeah, so
And you
that's,
have lost 12 kgs because of your soups
oh,
and
yes,
salads. You
yes,
have to put that out there so that
yes, yes.
you've started healthy, like enough of like eating pandemic
And
khana.
no, but honestly, Shiku, I eat everything. I have gorged on chola bhatura also the other day after fighting with my son. I mean, honestly, I mean, he was literally looking at me and saying, I got this for myself. And I said, okay, hang on, I'll give it to you. But the difference is, all I've done is I've reduced the portions, because I've realized that, okay, this food, which is nutritious and healthy, is helping me. It's helping everyone else. It's giving people an
Amazing.
option. Okay, it's giving people an option, and it's
Right.
opening up their minds to other things. Like, I mean, I know people are not very fond of things like millets and quinoa. For the longest time, I'm telling you, even today, if someone asks me, please, Yaj, can you just make me your quinoa salad, as you call it? I know you girls have all loved it, whenever we've met and I've made it. And
Amazing.
but people don't know how to use the quinoa rightly. You understand? Which is why they say we hate quinoa. It smells. Yeah, I'm not saying no, but there's a way to use it. And
Right.
that is something which I have learned over the past couple of years. I've been doing this really, really for very long. I've just kind of formalized it into a business. I'm enjoying
Beautiful.
myself. Yeah. So and I guess the discipline that my mother instilled in me has really, really helped me today, because honestly, all thanks to her, I can shift. I have this very disciplined day where I shift. I can be a counselor, I can be a this thing. Of course, my kids say you're barely a mom nowadays, but we barely get to see you. Y'all are old enough. I did my job with y'all.
I like that, barely a mom. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
God. Okay,
yeah. Yeah,
so we're almost close to 1 hour, but tell me
yeah.
one thing, Meenal, if there's one incident that changed your life, your perspective, or brought the paradigm shift, or taught you something, what would that incident be?
Actually, funny you should say that. The most important paradigm shift that I have had is when I had my back surgery.
Okay.
So I actually almost lost my right foot sensation in my right leg, sorry. Managed to get about 50 to 60% back, but I still have I can't really, so I can't run, I can't dance. If the people who are with me and who know me since childhood know me as a dancer, I was very fond of dancing. I can't dance
Right.
anymore. So, because I have a
Oh,
problem with my foot. This It was an emergency surgery which took place now, I think, 7 years ago. Yes, 7 years
hmm.
ago. What it taught me, I again had a shift. Like when I had that shift with my kids, this was my
Hmm.
second shift, when I realized that I can't be present everywhere. When I was trying to be a mom, I was trying to be like one of those perfect people and do this and that and that and this. It can't be done. Okay, and I need to ask for help. Another big problem with a lot of us, I think I would say women, we need to realize we are genuinely, after having said the fact that we can't be I can't be a multitasker, but by nature we all are. We are juggling
Right.
being a mom, being a career woman, being this, being that. Every woman does that, right?
Hmm.
And I realized that I can't be perfect in every one of those aspects. That my
Hmm.
kitchen is also clean, my house is also clean, my cupboard is set, my kids have eaten properly, and my work is going well, and my this and my that and my car and something will slip through the cracks. For
Right.
me, actually, that was a very big self therapy session, which it actually happened overnight. I had to just realize that I cannot be Wonder Woman and Superwoman. Yes, I'm trying, but
Amazing.
I don't have the cape. I don't have the
Right.
cape. I'm not gonna get it.
You know
I'm
what you
not
just
gonna get
said? You know what you just said, Meenal, is such an incredible thing because, we are always, we do not put our authentic selves out there. We do
Yeah.
not put our vulnerable selves out there. And what you just said makes so much sense that yes, I do not have the cape. I am not Wonder Woman. That is so nice. And the fact that, that you're telling the young moms, like, ask for help, or parents, ask for help. That is like
Ask
such
for help.
an important. Absolutely.
It's
Um, and you were saying, sorry,
no, no,
you were
no.
saying.
But please continue. Continue. I was.
No, so I was because we are already 1 hour this, and then Instagram does these things that they won't let me post it. Ye, wo sab, it's
Oh,
like
okay.
this technical issues. So then I just want to, so like tomorrow is Independence Day. Wishing you all the viewers over here very happy Independence. Enjoy the freedom, use it responsibly, and go out there, hoist your flag, be proud of your country. And I wish that you guys can be free of all of us can be free of all the toxicity and all the
All the negativity.
in all the negativity, and wishing you all abundance of good health and happiness and joy and togetherness. So
And
any
wear your
last
mask.
messages? Sorry, what?
I said wear your mask.
Wear your mask, right? So, and another thing, everybody that is joining us from Minal Saraswat's page, please follow and like the Paradigm Shift. We get you inspiring
Yes.
stories of people that are doing so many incredible things for the betterment of the society. Shaheen says amazing session. Thank you so much. Ritu says well spoken. Meenal, kudos to you. Loads of love.
Thanks.
And Tri Healers and Swati has been here showing constant support during this. I'm sorry we could not read all the comments. And everybody that is on joining us from the Paradigm Shift page. Meenal is going to be on our website, which we will be putting the link. We can't put the link really on this, but our link is in the bio. Her profile will be on our website as a counselor. You can catch her there, book her appointments, and you could also spread the word that if there is any child or any parent that feels that their child has a different ability, they can get in touch, and they can this. Mona says lovely session, thank you so much. Meenal, any last messages?
Big thank you to everyone who's joined and is watching us. And thank you for all of you who are present in my life. All of you, sincerely. From Shaheen to my parents, to my kids, to everyone who's been there for me and is continuing to be there for me. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
that is
Great,
so.
great session. I'm so glad we finally did this.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, guys, have a great weekend. Bye bye. Happy
Bye
Independence.
bye. Happy
Bye.
Independence Day, everyone.
Bye, Meenal. Take care.
Bye bye.